Hello everybody and welcome back to another Naruto Theorist video. Today we're going to be talking about my top 5 favorite Naruto characters. As you guys can probably tell, this one doesn't need a whole lot of explanation, so let's get right into number 5. Gaara is in my number 5 spot because I was a huge fan of him in Part 2. Now this is more specifically Part 2 Gaara. I'm not a very huge fan of Part 1 Gaara. He was kind of mean. Now towards the end of Part 1, I did really like Gaara during the Sasuke retrieval mission. I really liked when he was helping Rock Lee. I thought he kind of started transforming into his Shippuden self, and just seeing him fight Deidara, he may have lost, but he was just so cool doing it. And it was at a really cool place while I was watching it. You know, it was spring break 2017. You know, I was just really getting into Shippuden. It was just me starting Shippuden, so I was a huge fan. And just watching that is just so cool to watch him. So yeah, that is why Gaara is at my number 5 spot. Now, I am not actually sure what pulled me towards Shikamaru. I'm not sure if it was his nonchalant attitude or his awesome fight against the Sound Ninja during the Konoha Crush arc, but I just loved Shikamaru. Now, only in Part 1, most of the Konoha 11 I was not a big fan of in Part 2, but I loved Shikamaru in Part 1. His fight in the Chunin exam Part 3 and the prelims were awesome. And just his reactions to everything, I just loved Shikamaru. He was one of my favorites, and his theme always got me so hyped. Whenever I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, I got ready. I was just all perched up in my seat like, okay, what's he gonna do this time? I was so excited to watch Shikamaru, and he is still one of my favorite characters, and that's why he is my number 4. Now, Hiruzen I have always loved. Since the beginning of the show when I just started watching it, I always loved Hiruzen. He was such a just cool guy in the show, and his fight with Orochimaru was maybe one of my favorite fights in the whole show. It was really quick, and it wasn't really showed a lot in the episodes, but I just loved it. And him just summoning the Summon Monkey King Enma, like, he was so cool. And the thing I think I like the most about Hiruzen is that no one really knows what his limits are in power just because he was so old at the time, and I think the oldness at the same time made me feel like some sort of love, like he was like my grandpa or something, you know? But he is still one of my favorite characters and probably always will be. You guys have seen in my videos I talk about Hiruzen a whole lot, and I just love Hiruzen, so yeah. So that is why Hiruzen is my number 3. I believe it was after the death of Jiraiya in the Jiraiya vs. Pain fight where it really got hammered home to me that, you know, the ninja world is pretty unforgiving. So I was a huge fan of Jiraiya. I personally knew this was going to happen because I accidentally watched a WatchMojo video, so screw you, WatchMojo, for spoiling Jiraiya's death for me. But I still cried like a baby, and I wasn't just, you know, just like a couple tears rolling down. I was making noises. Like, it was 12:30 at night. I was audibly crying. You could hear it probably downstairs and stuff. I was a mess after that. And I really idolized Jiraiya. He was one of my favorite characters, right? So, just watching him die really hurt me. So, watching Naruto beat him was one of my favorite things. And then eventually, after rewatching the Naruto vs. Pain fight and kind of admiring the Renegon's powers, I began to become more and more of a fan of Pain. And now, that is what brought Pain into my number 2 spot. So that is why Pain is at my number 2. I think everyone loves Rock Lee. He's just such a lovable character. Now, when I first started watching him, when he first showed up, I was a little creeped out by him. He's a little creepy. Then I saw him fight Sasuke, and that was just insane. Like, I didn't think anyone could beat Sasuke at this point, but he did. So I was just shocked by how he could do it. But the cool thing was, is after that, I was like, oh, okay, I like this dude. And I see him go up against Gaara, which I thought he had no chance against, and he starts pummeling Gaara. And I still think Gaara should have lost that fight. There's no way Rock Lee should have lost that fight. That was just unfair. But yeah, after that fight, I was like, okay, now I love Naruto. Like, that fight made me keep watching Naruto. Like, I got back to it after maybe 2 months, and then I saw this fight, and then I just kept watching it up until I finished. I watched that, from that fight to the end of the series, I watched that in maybe 4 months. It was insane after that. But before that, I didn't really watch that much Naruto. So Rock Lee really did that for me. That's why Rock Lee is my number 1. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're feeling awesome today, hit that subscribe button. I always love when people subscribe. That helps me grow so much. If you're feeling awesome, check out my Twitter in the description. I just made a Twitter, so get some followers on there, get it steamrolling. See you guys. As always, guys, have a great day.